Hello, my friends. Today I will review one of my games that I thought were pretty interesting. It's a fairly long game. I think it was like 28 turns. So let's get started. So, playing against Nimzoblanca. I believe this is from like the Man tournament. And I won the previous game. This is the second game against him. So here he discloses his 18. He's going first, and he discloses his $18 country here. So I actually thought a while about this, my disclosure. I believe my secret allies, they were not that well concentrated this turn compared to his. So mine were like spread out, like I had some countries like over here, but he had some more, he had more countries that were close together, grouped together, and in the center. So he disclosed this, and I remember I was thinking, should I disclose this $12 country? Because this and this country are probably his. I decided I would because I believe this is my $18 country, so I could support it. But as we'll see, I can't support it forever. So it's very unfortunate because since I disclosed second, he gets the first attack on mine. So this is his $12 country as well. You can see due to the nature of this map where there's only the height of this area, it's only like it's a 2x6 area, right? So I cannot put my rocket launcher anywhere along this line because then it would just die to the ostrich. And it's really awkward to position units here, especially even the heavy bot, right? Like there's two forest hexes here, which makes getting units here hard. And like if a unit is here, then he can easily kill it with the annihilator and ostrich, right? If I put my heavy bot here. So this is a very awkward place to defend, especially since he has two countries, like $20 worth of revenue per turn. Sorry, not $20 revenue. Um, he has a $12 country and an $18 country versus my just $12 country, right? So this is very hard to defend, and I know at like this point that I'm likely going to lose this country eventually. It's kind of inevitable that I will lose it, but for now I'll just support it with this $18 country. Right, so let's go faster. He discloses this $18 country. That's very concerning, right? So I disclosed that $8 country to support the naval battle going on. So that ends up being his $12 country. Now I'm really in trouble, right? Because so this is also my $8 country, I believe. But the problem is I have this $18 country needs to spend resources to support to defend my $12 country, right? So I cannot afford that much money to spend. This $18 country cannot afford that much money to spend on the navy, right? Because it has to support this $12 country. So I'm basically only using maybe like half the resources, maybe less, maybe more from this $8 country and this $8 country here. And I have one $8 country here versus he has an $18 country and a $12 country, right? So that's $7 worth of revenue per turn plus $20 of secret army, and he can use it exclusively for the navy here, right? He doesn't have to worry about any land battle. So you can see I'm already like kind of falling apart in this area, and it's kind of inevitable that I will lose some of these countries. So right now I'd say it's going very bad for me. Even though the balance is 0%, it's even, I think I'm already in a very bad shape. Right, so he discloses this as his another $12 country. Now I'm for sure screwed here. It's inevitable that I will lose my navy. I will lose these countries slowly, right? It's inevitable at this point. He has two $12 countries plus an $18 country. And what do I have here? Only two $8 countries, one $18 country that needs to send money, send resources to support the defense of this $12 country. And for this $12 country, he has a $12 country and $18 country both attacking in, right? I'm in a very bad shape right now. So eventually I will be losing these countries, right? So I hold here. I definitely don't want to make the first move and attack with my navy at this point. I want to drag it out as long as possible and hopefully my... So right now, like, what's my plan? So the only way I can win this is if I can stall out losing these countries, right? Stall as long as possible. Try to defend these countries as long as possible until I can use my secret allies from other on the map and gain more countries, or maybe even support these countries somehow. So you can see that my $18 country is actually very unfortunately situated here. Like, it can't really do much, right? He has like, if I try to build a navy, it can't really reach this part of the battlefield that easily. And if I try to like invade, he can easily like seal off. If I try to like get a naval transport and some land units for a land invasion, he can easily like he can put naval units. He has a Leviathan here. He could just block it off with small foots, right? So, but at any rate, I knew I had to disclose this eventually, right? Because it does um make divert some of the pressure away from this $12 country. Now he has to think about like getting naval units for this battle here, so that's less resources that he can spend on attacking my $12 country. So it draws pressure away. Disclosing this $18 country draws pressure away from this $12 country and allows me to defend it for maybe just a little longer. Maybe it's only a turn, but you never know. One turn might be the difference between winning or losing. I'm just waiting with my navy here. Like, you can see that like, what I have, 3 battleships plus 1 Leviathan. He has like 1 Leviathan, 3 battleships. Basically the same, but he also has Tritons, he has Sharks, and he has a lot more revenue per turn. So he's eventually going to destroy my navy here. It's inevitable. So I do make him right. So this is my $12 country as well. So I disclose it to exert even more pressure on these countries. Again, in an attempt to draw pressure away from his attack on this $12 country, right? So the only hope is that he spends his revenue on naval units here and not more land forces to invade here. So he does move in with his Leviathan. He has a $12 country there with a little bit of a land invasion, right? Like, this $12 country is definitely gonna fall very soon, or he's at least gonna invade it very soon. So he's invaded my $8 country too. Now I'm not getting revenue here, right? I'm not getting revenue here either. This is very bad, by the way. I still have 8 turns of revenue on this, so he's played it very well here, I think, and invaded immediately so that I don't get value. I don't get that many turns of revenue on this country. And it's very hard for me to move my navy here. Like, I guess my Leviathan can attack, but then that means I'd have to move my navy closer and then give him the first strike on my navy, which would be very bad for me. So just a little naval skirmish here. He also has this $8 country. In my opinion, just getting one submarine, one shark isn't really a good idea. That shouldn't change it. The naval battle. I should have naval superiority here. Like maybe this was also his $8 country, which is why. Let's see. I don't remember like all the details of this game clearly. So okay, right. So this was my $12 country. So of course I disclose it as soon as he discloses his $8 country. I mean that's just natural, right? So my Leviathan does get very. Oh, he actually destroys it. I misplayed here then. Well played to him. I didn't expect he would destroy a Leviathan there. So it's looking very bad for me right now. I may have misplayed a little bit there. I didn't expect my Leviathan would die. Okay, so I do move my Leviathan in. I have another Leviathan, or I guess I should say warship coming in. So for now I just need to hold here. I'll probably get like a bunch of destroyers, those 2-cost ships. So this is interesting. I decided to go in with the first strike and attack with the Navy. I believe my thought process is that I do just want to like move my Leviathan here and then like take back control of this country to at least get some revenue out of it, right? Because you have to consider that like when this has 8 turns of revenue, right? So even if this gets captured immediately, right? Even if this gets captured eventually, and I have to pay the $8 indemnity to him, this sells at 8 turns of revenue. So even if I can get like, if I can just like spend those 8 turns of revenue, that's $16. And that's not just $16 for me, that's $16 taken away from him. Because if he gets control of this country while it has 8 turns of revenue left, that's 16, that's like essentially minus 32, right? Because not only am I losing $16 worth of revenue, he's gaining 16 turns of revenue. So that's a net loss of $32 for me, right? So I want to just take back control of this country, and I'm not gonna win the battle here by taking control of this country, but I can spend a lot of the revenue away. Like I can spend it on like Smallfoots and hold this for as long as possible, and to basically take revenue away from him that he would be getting if he conquered this country while it still has 8 turns of revenue, right? So I do want to retake this country. So I move in here. It's very bad though, the Navy. Like I can only hit like some low value ships. Like I think I destroyed like a killer whale and a shark. So it's very low value for my Navy. But I moved my Leviathans in and try to retake this country for the reasons I stated. By the way, guys, I hope I'm not talking too fast because I know that there are a lot of players who may not speak English that well. So hopefully you guys can give me feedback on that as well. Okay, so he finally invades my $12 country. The balance is 6% in his favor right now. It's looking very bad for me. I'm gonna lose this naval battle soon too. So one thing to notice, by the way, is that I have two Leviathans and he only has one, and he has a bunch of Firestorms and smaller ships instead of saving up for a Leviathan. And in my opinion, that's not too great because you can see that these Tritons are pretty much sitting useless, right? They eventually will be useful when he invades my countries, but for the naval battle, they aren't very useful. Sharks, maybe, but like in enclosed areas, I think Leviathan is better. Um, I think I had this discussion a long time ago where I was like, I used to think, wouldn't two battleships, two Firestorms, I'll just always be better than one Leviathan? Because they would have like, what, 16 HP versus 10 on a Leviathan, and they have 6 damage compared to 3 and 2. But the thing is, Leviathan has an extra range, and it only takes up one space, meaning that it's very good in enclosed scenarios, right? Where I can like block off um this little area, right, with like low cost ships, and then his firestorms won't be able to hit my Leviathans, while my Leviathans can still hit his firestorms. It goes a little more than that, but that's the general idea. The general idea, I think, is that Leviathans are better in more enclosed areas as long as you have low-cost ships to block off like small channels like that, like a small tight area like that. But anyways, so this $12 country is gonna fall, but the good thing is I used most of the revenue. So I do manage to kill his Leviathan, which is very good. See, the issue now is that actually no, let's just keep playing for now. I do take back control of this, and I believe I'll use it to buy destroyers. So very interesting, little interesting play here. He bought a Tiro shield just so that he could block my air transport here. Right, I think air transports are also affected. It's not only bombers, but air transports cannot move if they're within the radius of this. So very interesting. He blocked it just to make sure I wouldn't take it. But I mean, like he spent $3 on this, right? And this is only $2. So I don't know. It's a little bit of a dubious play, a questionable play from him. But I think it's an interesting play for sure. Right, so I move another Leviathan warship in. No, that was my original one. Right, so you can see like I have some countries along here, right? They're very far from the battlefield. And I do use this to get amphibians. I think these amphibians actually did end up being like at least slightly useful. But and I'll get into this more, but I think maybe the right play was to just like invade these countries, just take control of these countries. We know this is neutral, right? This is very likely his country as well. I mean, not his country. This is very likely neutral based on the what units he got, right? He's planning to invade this probably, right? If this was his $8 country, um, he'd probably just like get some ostriches here, maybe an annihilator, and then get like frontline units here, right? So we can but since he bought like 4 smallfoots, we can tell this is probably um a neutral country that he's planning to invade. So eventually, I believe he will take control of all of these countries here. But I have a $12 country here. I could have taken control of these countries earlier than him. Especially considering this is a neutral 18, so he can't use this. This $3 country, he could support a battle here maybe, but he won't be able to defend this $12 country if I invade it that well, right? And I think I realized that at a certain point in this game that I should stop using these far away countries to support the main battle because it's just too inefficient. It's so far away, and you have to spend money on naval transports or like this. I disclosed this $8 country with the hopes of supporting it, but like look at this. Like what is this? I have one amphibian. I have like I think another amphibian, and I might be getting tanks. Like this is so slow and inefficient, and it ends up not being that useful. And I realized this, and I eventually started just invading these countries instead of trying to use the revenue to support the main battle. And I think I should have done this earlier. But let's just keep going. And ouch, I lose my rocket launchers. That might have been a misplay, but yeah, maybe I should have saved them, but I can at least get one in return. Yep, I was right. He did. That was a neutral $8 country invaded. So I take some very heavy losses here. So this is interesting. He decides to disclose. He decides to disclose this country, $8 country, full of killer whales. Now they will be useful later when I try to take this country, but right now they aren't like that useful, right? Because I could just escape with my naval transport. So I can even destroy one of these along the way. I'm not sure if the right play was just to escape all the way, because I don't think he can kill it. But I did waste like one turn, I guess. Not really waste, but I did just kill one of them with my amphibians. So this naval battle, like you can see, it's eventually going to be lost. But I have taken control of this I've taken control of this country again, right? And I'm spending that revenue as I was talking about. So he's gotten bombers here. So they'll be hitting my Leviathan as it tries to go all the way here. Finally, I disclose this country. Start taking this. So the balance is okay. Let's take a look at this. The balance is 0% actually right now, but it's looking very bad for me, right? For one, this LAV, these two LAVs are just about to fall, and he's about to take full control of this country. This country will not be able to defend that much longer. Only one turn of revenue left, and the guerrillas used up. Right, it's gonna fall soon. This $8 country only has 2 turns of revenue left. And I have two $8 countries versus he has like yeah, two $12 countries and an $18 country. I'm slowly gonna lose like all of these countries, right? And on the map, outside on the map, like I haven't conquered or started to invade neutral countries on the outside of the map where a bunch of my secret allies invade or lie, where a bunch of my secret allies are. So I think despite it saying 0% right now, I'm definitely in a bad spot and I'm losing right now. Lost in amphibian. Interesting. Not much to comment on here. It's just the course of the battle is, going as I said earlier. I'm just slowly losing the battle in the countries over here. I do have a little bit of support, naval support coming in from here. Excuse me. So here I just get a bunch of destroyers. And eventually I will win the naval battle here. Which I will then use to support with, let's just go here for a quick moment. So I lost my, like there's no big units here, right? But this $18 country is out of revenue. So I'm just getting a bunch of destroyers here. I'll win the naval battle and then buy some landing forces, some land units plus a naval transport and start invading these countries. I've already invaded this $8 country, right? And he won't be able to support it that long. These countries I will definitely eventually take. So it's kind of interesting. So you can probably already see how this is gonna play out in the long term, right? I'm gonna lose these two countries for sure, right? But I will also, in the long run, I will also eventually conquer these two $8 countries, and then I will use the resources here to support the defense of these two countries, maybe, which are more closer to where my I guess where my conquered countries are. Right, I'm gonna lose these two outer countries for sure. But the question is, will I be able to defend these two countries after conquering these two countries and getting resources from them? Another thing to note, right, he has 8 turns of revenue left on here. It's important to make the move to invade as soon as you can, right? Because if you build up more resources, maybe you can take the country more quickly, but you also get less revenue. Every turn of revenue they get is revenue that they're gaining and you're losing, right? So I'm gonna need every turn of revenue to supply the defense of these two countries eventually. So it's already pretty bad that he has 6 turns of revenue here, and he's probably gonna get a lot more turns of revenue before I can even invade. Right, so I actually disclosed this as my $8 country. I just wanted to like stop him from expanding into this area for as long as possible. And especially since this was my $8 country, I could have just invaded this. Oh wait, I guess I knew at that point that these two are probably his as well. So I guess it was kind of difficult. It was a difficult decision to try to invade that $12 country. Yeah, it would not have worked out. It would not have worked out. But I could invade this $8 country since it's bordering on my two $12 countries, and we know that this is neutral. So I probably should have just invaded this country sooner, and I did eventually, but I should have done it sooner. Yeah, not much else to say there. The good thing is I did get all my turns of revenue before losing control of this $12 country. You can see the situation here is getting desperate. I'm even using a battle platform to block. I'm gonna lose control of this country with 5 turns of revenue left. That's pretty bad. Maybe I should have bought some more LAVs instead of trying to support the naval battle with destroyers like I did. I did temporarily break his control over this country, which is good. It buys me some time. Right, eventually losing control of those countries. Not much else to say. Already said that probably like 10 times. I will eventually take control of these countries. So there is some more support coming in from up top to support the naval battle here. So we can defend that area for just a while longer. So let's just note that one thing at this point. At this point, I won't be getting any more reinforcements to this battle over here. I will not be getting any more reinforcements from this area, right? He has a lot of defense set up, and he's gonna take control of this country. He has killer whales here. He has bombers here, even some bunkers, right? There will not be much more support coming in from here. The support, he's cutting off like my support line over here basically. He's cutting off my supply line basically. So this is the final like a little burst of support that I'm gonna get. So although it was important though that I got this support, or else this battle would have been lost a lot quicker. But because I got a little bit of support left, I'm able to hold here for longer. So as you can see, I am eventually taking control of these countries. I am gonna lose control of this country too, and in return, eventually this area as well. Finally decide to invade this country instead of trying to move units over across. So this naval battle became significantly closer with the support I got. With the support or the reinforcements that I was barely able to squeeze through. But now we lost this $8 country with 5 turns of revenue left, plus the indemnity of $8 he's gonna get. It's already a big turn, it's gonna be bad for me. And you know, as I said, it's inevitable that I'm gonna lose this battle, right? The support only delayed it, but delaying it is also very important, right? Because I'm eventually going to win over these countries as well, right? I've killed off his naval units here, and now I'm supplying some ground invasion over here. So I'm eventually going to take these and then use the resources to supply the defense of these two countries. So it's very important that I drag out the defense of these two outer countries as long as possible. And on this side of the map, I'm eventually starting to take these countries as well. But right now you can see the balance is 8% in his favor. Although this country will fall quite soon with a good 8 turns of revenue left. So here's when I first invaded his country. Note that he only has 2 turns of revenue left. Right? Like, I might have misplayed here. Maybe I should have taken control of this $8 country sooner rather than spending like money on navy and trying to fight his navy over here. Like, just imagine if I had taken control, if I had invaded this country when he had like 8 turns of revenue left, or maybe even before he disclosed it, a full 10 turns of revenue, right? Like, let's just say I invaded at 8 turns of revenue. That's, again, as I said, that's $16 worth of money. The $16 worth of money that I spend and he does not get to spend. So in total, that's a net loss of $32 for him. That's a huge swing in my favor. It's really important to look at revenue as not just the money that you spend, but you're basically also taking money away from your opponent if you conquer his secret ally, right? So the total is just double. As I said, if it's 8 turns of revenue, then essentially it's a net gain of $32. Uh, so yeah, but he only has 2 turns of revenue left here, so not much, unfortunately. Alright, excuse me guys, I'm going to take a pause from the video. It shouldn't be that long. I'll cut it to make sure the pause is outside the final video, but I'm just gonna take a short break. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Right, so I've lost control of this $8 country, and I'm gonna lose control over this very soon. Gonna lose my naval units too. Oh, let's just see. So he conquered this, my $12 country. He did not spend his indemnity money yet. That's very interesting. Very interesting. I think he probably should have just spent it on uh, money for a land invasion of my $18 country. Right, because I don't know why he just kept it in his treasury and didn't spend it. He should have spent it right away because every turn he waits, that's every one more turn that I'm getting closer to him conquering his countries here and then supplying the defense. Right, I'm gonna take these two countries and then supply the defense of these two countries with revenue from them. Right, so he should have invaded immediately. Maybe he wanted to. I don't know. Maybe he's thinking maybe he should spend some money, save some money in case he needs to defend his $8 country here. Anyways, I think it's very indecisive of him. Maybe he felt like he didn't need to do anything because he's at 9% balance. At this point he's currently winning the game. So one thing to note is that I believe I probably didn't we probably went over it quickly without covering it, but I did it wait like one turn, an extra turn to invade this country to get because I want to position my land transports along the border. I need to make sure to actually never mind. No, I thought there were bombers here, but no. But anyways, it's important to note that he doesn't have that much support. He has some killer whales and sharks, but they won't be able to help defend this $8 country. Like if he had a Leviathan like close by, it would be very hard to take this $8 country, right? But he doesn't have that much. These two countries are out of revenue, no more revenue anymore. So yeah, he not much land forces here either. So I can pretty safely and easily take control of this $8 country, and that's going to be important because I'm getting $40 worth of revenue over time, right? 10 turns left, $4 per turn. Oh, I messed up here. I don't know what happened, but I did not calculate it right, and I have two tanks that just sunk with the ship and messed up a little bit there. Okay, so he is preparing for the invasion here of my $18 country. Okay, so he finally spent his indemnity. His just about in time. I'm just about to take his $8 countries here. Oh, I remember what happened. Okay, so he actually spent a lot of the guerrilla forces. He spent the guerrilla on like a Triton and a turtle or something, and that's what killed off my ship. So that's an interesting play from him. Um, he is spending like what? I'm not sure if this Triton was from before. Um, but he's spending at least like $5 to kill off two tanks and naval transport here. But in return, this $8 country falls a lot quicker to my control. So it's not too bad for me, right? That I do lose two tanks in a naval transport, which is a lot, $6. But time is money, right? As they say, time is money. Um, if that means that I can take control of this $8 country as soon as possible and then start exerting pressure here, um, that might be worth it, honestly. It might be worth it. Because as you'll see eventually, I'm going to start putting pressure and I'm going to invade this $18 country and he's going to have to divert resources away, right? The invasion of this $18 country is going to be a slow burn for him. Why? Because not only I have some LAVs already here, plus $8 worth of guerrilla, plus units that I'm supplying through my $12 country here. This is out of revenue, but this has some revenue plus indemnity, and this has revenue plus indemnity. So it's going to be a slow burn invasion for him. So he won't be able to take my $18 country easily, right? And eventually he's going to have to divert resources away to um, defend this $18 country here. Spoiler alert. Right, so basically the point is, the sooner I can get started taking control of this country and then invade his 18, the better. So it's actually minus 3%, so it's swung in my favor now. He's gonna take control of this country soon though. Right, you can see he's hesitating. He's hesitating on the invasion here. Right, because he knows, he can see like what's gonna happen if he tries to invade. If he commits all of his resources to the invasion here, then what's gonna happen when I invade? He has no revenue very little naval support to defend his countries here, right? So he's hesitating a lot, and he's not invading. But I think at the same time, that's bad for him because what the longer I get to support, because I have these countries are basically all out of revenue. Zero, no revenue here, no revenue here, one revenue here left, no revenue here, no revenue here. So these countries are out of revenue. I'm fine with just staying, and I'm fine with him not invading and just everything staying here like it is. But I'm getting revenue from all of these countries, right? 9 turns of revenue, 7 turns, 9 turns. I'm getting a lot of revenue. I'm getting a lot of fresh revenue, right? So even if he controls these countries, it doesn't matter. He's not getting any revenue. The longer he waits, the worse it gets for him because I control a lot of revenue here. Now, to be fair, he is getting revenue from those countries, right? But he's not going to be able to transport them efficiently to support the battle over here. So in my opinion, he should have just went for the invasion as soon as possible. He should have just committed to it. I cannot invade this country yet. I will eventually, but not yet, right? Because he has his navy coming over. So I think his indecisiveness may have been what eventually caused him some issues. He will take control of that $8 country too, though, eventually. And so I'm getting bombers here. You can see I got a bomber there. I'm gonna move some bombers into this country to defend against his navy that's coming in over there. So my $12 country gets invaded. It has no revenue left, so I'm not too worried about losing it, but of course I want to hold off as long as possible to prevent him from getting the indemnity as long as possible. Oh my goodness, I accidentally pressed the mute mic button a while ago. So you guys might have missed some recording. Uh, Shoot, that's unfortunate. I accidentally muted my mic. But I don't think I said too much while I was muted, it's fine. So yeah, anyways, he's trying to support he's trying to support the invasion here, or the defense of his $18 country with his navy, but you know, I just block it off with destroyers and then use my bombers to bomb them out. So the reason why I moved up so aggressively, right? But before I was just planning to defend, but now I'm directly attacking his little regiment or ground forces here because I'm basically applying pressure here so that he won't he has to choose between sending more resources to defend here and fighting the battle over here, right? If he chooses to fight here, I get more time to invade his $8 country here. So right, I decided to try to apply as much pressure as possible by directly attacking his forces there. I got a bomber there to defend this eventually. And it looks like I'm even gonna lose this $8 country. I'm gonna hold out for one more turn. So he's mobilizing these forces. Now, one thing to note, let's note something here. So he decided to buy a lot of Smallfoots. When he invaded this $18 country, he bought a lot of Smallfoots, right? This is like what, one, two, three, four, five, $6 worth of Smallfoots. Probably even more lost, but look at how useless these Smallfoots are. He's not gonna waste time transporting Smallfoots, right? He's gonna want to transport his ostrich, his tanks, maybe even annihilators. He can't waste time transporting Smallfoots. They move only one per turn, and they're only worth $1, right? They're very useless. They're very good for fighting battles where you're not gonna move around much. But like the value, these are just stuck here. This is $6 worth of units. If he got like more tanks and ostriches while invading, it might have been slower, but he would have been able to transport it better. So that's just something interesting to note. I'm not necessarily saying it was the wrong play because it might have taken him longer to conquer that $18 country if he only got more useful units like tanks and ostriches, right? But because of that, he's just stuck with a lot of useless units here. So he's going to transport and supply. He's going to transport these and try to supply the defensive here. You can see I'm slowly gaining the advantage in the battle over here. And his navy is getting completely destroyed by my bombers. I have a line of destroyers just blocking him blocking off his naval units from attacking my ground forces, right? So his navy is completely getting wrecked here. It cannot support It cannot attack my ground invasion forces here, and it's just getting blocked off. The most he can do is kill off destroyers while his sharks and firestorms get bombed repeatedly. So this is a complete win over here for my part. This $8 country is gonna fall actually though. What I think he should have done is that I'm gonna lose this country soon, right? He has a lot of land forces here. I'm gonna lose this country here, and there's not much revenue coming in to support this country either. What I think he should have done is realize that it's impossible to get any value out of his navy from here. He's just sending his units to the slaughterhouse basically, right? They're getting slaughtered, and they can only attack my destroyers while they're getting bombed. Like he had what? He had a decently sized navy here. He had like maybe two more firestorms, another shark or something. He should have just moved it over here and tried to fight this battle and win decisively here. Because right now his units are useless. They're just getting blocked off and getting bombed and dying. And the most he's getting for is just destroyers. He's not going to be able to support the fight here. He should have just moved his navy over here, or maybe even over here, to win decisively over here. He has to realize that he cannot defend this $8 country much longer. Especially once I move the bombers here, right? The bombers have access to the entire country, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. Bombers will be able to bomb like this entire area. He can't defend his $18 country here forever. But instead he just keeps sending them to the slaughterhouse, you know. It kills my amphibian here, sure, but he's just losing his entire naval force over there. He is getting some ground reinforcements from his $18 country, but look. Yes, some of these are just small foots, which are so useless to transport. Look how long it's gonna take those like just think about how long it's gonna take these small foots. They can only move one per turn, so you move it here. You have to wait till next turn. Next turn you land here. You have to move into UPS, and you still can't use it. And it still can't land right away. It's just gonna take a lot of turns compared to an ostrich or tank, which can move 2 units per turn. It's taking him way too long to move his reinforcements to supply the defense over there. Now you can see his ground support is cut off from his capital. He's gonna lose the bombers here soon. I'm not sure why he didn't move the bombers away. He probably should have just moved the bombers away. I think he didn't move his bombers away. So I actually moved the bombers here to supply the defense of this. So I actually lose this $8 country here. I'm not sure why he didn't move his bombers there. So I decided to supply some even more units because I'm running out of defending resources here. So he did conquer my country here, right? He went for tanks here, which is greedy. Cause okay, like I was talking about how the Smallfoots were more useless than tanks, but in my opinion, he overestimated himself because this is an $18 country that I've supplied with 2 bombers. It has more $8 worth of guerrilla. I have more land unit reinforcements coming up. He should have just went for like 4 Smallfoots plus 2 Scorchers, like maximum um low range value with low maneuverability, but maximum value for a direct in terms of a direct confrontation here. Because you're gonna see that his invasion he probably wanted to invade this country, my $18 country, as quickly as possible, and then regain control of his own $18 country that I've invaded. But as you'll see, that won't work out. He does. He will take control of my $12 country. Okay, so he invades here. So right now it's back in at 9% in his favor. So I'm gonna lose my $12 country over here, but I am able to defend this $8 country for a while longer, I think. Bombers coming in. So as you can see, his ground invasion was pretty unsuccessful. He's not gonna have enough. I'm gonna be able to defend this $18 country. Right, so one thing I should mention is I decided to. So interestingly enough, he finally decided to get a Tiro shield to shield the bombers, but look what happened. I was able to get a little bit of naval units back into here, and look, he has like no revenue left here. So I should be able to. His Leviathans can maybe like pressure my rocket launchers, but I have bombers and I have a battleship coming in to offer some support, so I probably will be able to hold this. He spent his indemnity on a Leviathan. And more importantly here, I'm sending in some units to cut off his supply line basically. Just like he did to me here before. Remember when he had like bombers here, had some killer whales that cut off my reinforcements line? I'm doing the same here. He has like no navy here. No navy, no bombers. He should have moved his bombers here, I think. I don't know why he didn't move his bombers out. Maybe he forgot. That was probably a miscalculation or a misplay. So even like just four of these, I think, is enough to just cut off his supply line. If he spends more money on naval units, that delays his supply of reinforcements here. And regardless, I have a very strong force here, and it's eventually going to take his $18 country. Got three bombers here, and after I end my turn, most of these units will be gone, I think. That thing's just empty. Okay, so he surrendered here. Now that's interesting. Is it reasonable for him to surrender? Let's see. Balance is actually 6% in his favor, but let's look at this, right? I've somewhat cut off, or at least delayed his supply line. He has too many turtles, really. He has four turtles, but no units. I'm clicking inside them, and there's no units inside them. There's like one small foot here. He has a lot of transport here, but no actual fighting units. His Annihilator won't be able to get through with my Navy coming in here, right? Even if he lands it somewhere here, I'll just destroy it with my destroyers. Um, like, look, there's nothing in here. There's just a couple of small foots left versus my entire, like, army here with three bombers. He's gonna lose this, and then he's gonna lose this entire area, this entire continent. His land invasion has failed here, and I'm gonna take back control of this $18 country soon, along with this. Yeah, he has like no revenue left. This no revenue here, one turn of revenue here, no revenue from my indemnity. I'm very likely gonna be able to defend this because he has some units here, right? But I'm just gonna keep putting small foots, and I have three bombers to defend. His Tiro shield will have to take a long route away. I mean, he can maybe block with some of these, but I have some naval support coming in here as well. So yeah, he could maybe defend, but the thing is to note is he has like no revenue left and not much more indemnity. He's already taken control of a lot of my countries and spent their indemnity. I haven't taken control of these. Like once I take control of these two countries, I'm gonna get indemnity, and then I'm gonna just steamroll and invade all of these countries, which have no revenue left, only guerrilla. So I think I probably did win. Maybe he could have defended. I'm not sure. I'm not the best player, so I can't say. But yeah, he's basically run out of steam. He has no uh, what's it called, revenue left. Not much more indemnity in terms of countries he can take. While I have revenue here to defend, and I'm gonna take indemnity and then probably eventually take control of all these countries. So You know what? I think I probably did win. He did surrender. So what do I think? So it's an interesting game because you can see from the flags where his secret allies were and where my secret allies were. I had a lot of secret allies that are like really spread out, right? They couldn't do anything while he had concentrated secret allies that were grouped together. So I thought this was just going to be a guaranteed loss. But I realized like halfway through, at around like this point where I was like buying that helicopter transport. Was this called air transport? I was buying air transports here and like buying tanks or amphibians to just cross over here without invading this neutral country to support the battle here. But then I realized it's not going to work. It's too inefficient. Instead, I should just invade these countries, these neutral countries that are close to my secret allies. He did make some mistakes, I think. I'm not sure why he retreated the bombers. He didn't retreat the bombers. He should have, when he still had a navy here, remember? He had a navy here. Or rather, he had a navy here after he won the naval battle, and he moved them all the way here to try to support the defense of his $18 country here, right? But I just clogged it up with a lot of destroyers and bombers. He should have just moved them here to win a more decisive victory. He may be able to take control of this country with naval support, right? And I had my naval forces were just destroyers and bombers. So if he rerouted his naval forces, he had like firestorms and submarines, right? So if he rerouted his forces, I can't really chase, right? I can't chase with destroyers and bombers. So he might have won a more decisive victory here, and maybe he could have turned it. Also here he went for tanks instead of I'm not sorry, not Leviathans, instead of Smallfoots and Scorchers, which I think was not the right play because I this is still an pretty defensible from my point of view, right? I still have quite a few land units. I moved in two bombers. He should have played the slow game, played it slower and gotten more value, right? Because tanks, compared to a tank, to an LAV or a Smallfoot, a tank does the same amount of damage, 2 damage, as two Smallfoots, but it has 5 HP compared to Smallfoot with 8 HP. It'd be a lot harder for me to defend. Um, so yeah, I think he made some mistakes. I made maybe a couple mistakes as well, but eventually the game did turn into my favor very late. And this is 28 turns. This game goes very late. Usually, I think games are over long before then. So yeah, it's a very interesting game. Uh, Guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Did I play well? Did my opponent play well? What could we have done better? And also let me know if you can understand what I'm saying because I don't know how good the English of most players are because I know a lot of players are not from English speaking countries. So yeah, tell me if I should try to be speak slower and or if you're even interested in my commentary at all. All right, thanks guys. Goodbye.